Hello friends, and today we're going to model this vampire killer thing cross knife. Let's jump in this mesh. It's 23 by 10 centimeters. I will just use a simple corner box and drop it like that. Kind of generously, because I will cut everything out of it. Good. So now I can just hide this measurement curve and drop my main one here. So that's basically all the shape. I'll just extrude it, dab it. I think something about 4.66 millimeters is good from both sides, so it's about 1 centimeter. And now we definitely can create these parts here. I will use the circle to kinda create this type of thing here. And I will drop it a bit lower, somewhere over here maybe, to kinda make this first cut here. Maybe I will do it a bit inside here. I think something like that is good. So let's just C, cut, and X. Now we can freely take this thing, do Alt X to the other side, Q, and merge it. Okay, now we can see where this shape is going. So next thing, I will need the line, and I will drop it right in the center. So we will always see the center, if we can't for some reason. And I will start making this thing. So it basically should be like that. I will drop it here and drop it somewhere. I feel like it should be a bit like that. So yeah, I will definitely need to make this one a bit longer. So okay, it's not 23. I think maybe it will be 25 or so. 26, 28. It's not a big deal. Something, I think something over here. Yeah, let's leave it here. Nice. Let me take this one, do Alt X and drop it on this side. I'll take it and join it together. Perfect. Don't forget to save all your moves. Now I will take this thing and I will do Shift I and just imprint it here. I can hide this curve for now. Maybe I will need it later. Okay, this one's going to here. You can name it guide. And from the side view, I will take the line and I will drop it here like this. Nice. And I will do Shift I and imprint it here as well. Just delete this one. Good. So now you kind of see where am I going with all these things. Okay. And I need to drop another one over here. So Shift I, kick it like that. Take this one, Control R, make it here, and drop Alt X to this side. Good. And that's not the finish, because we need to do one more here in the corner. So take it like that. And now we need to drop it over here. And we can generously drop a Shift I, just imprint it here. And just get rid of it like that. And now we can do the Alt X and drop it here. Okay, so we basically almost have this shape. The only thing left here is, yep, let's just redraw these lines here if we lost it for some reason. And let's just delete this portion because we don't need it. So Shift X. And now we can do a couple ways. We can just loft this part and that part, or we can do a Shift J. But for Shift J, we will need one in the center here. We will need one bridge over here and drop it on a G0. So I will take this, Shift J, and kind of make this type of thing, and it will be beautiful. Right click to apply. Okay, friends, we are almost on the finish here, and let's Alt exit to the other side, Q to merge it. Cool. Here's our amazing shape, and I think we will definitely make it a bit slimmer. Yep. And let me just, I need it to be cut over here. I will do C, cut, delete this one, and do a Shift D here. So now I can just rotate it on a 90 degree and position it somewhere here. But here's the problem. We don't have much space over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to create the 3-point circle. I will make it here like this. And I will position this bad boy almost to this thing. Just roughly match it. Good. And now I will hide it for now, like this. And I will do a Control R and create this continuation here. So it will basically be this matching. So I will need it like that. Let's just match it here. Okay. And now I will zoom in over here, take this thing, do GV, put it in the corner of this right thing, and GY, just match it together over here. Perfect. So here is my mesh. And we can do this thing, or we can kind of like make this one. It's not a big deal. And we will just drop another circle over here just to cut it out there, because it's definitely not gonna be bad. So I will take this circle again so I can see him. Good. And I will Alt exit, but to this side. So Alt X, F, make it like this, and drop it here. Or you can make a 3-point circle over here if you wish. It's your choice. C, cut, right click. I will need that circle, so I will delete only this bastard out of the way. And now I will just Shift D, V, put this thing on the top here. If it doesn't want to, just make the line, GV, put it here, delete the line, G, Z, and match them. So let's just X, so let's just C, cut it. Yep, and now we don't care about these things here. So we will do a Shift D here. Good. And now we will cut it like that. Shift C. And now I can take it and drop it here. Nice. And let's try to take this line, C, cut, right click, and X to delete it. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Okay. Let's do Alt X. And we have something like that. Good. And let's do Alt X here as well. We're starting getting there slowly. We have this shape a little bit different. I think first thing first, we need to merge everything we have here like this and make it a bit like this. Yeah, so it will be much narrower here. And we definitely want to make it maybe a bit wider over here on the low part. Yeah, I think GX and just a little bit like this. Now select it, Alt X, mirror it here. It became a bit bigger than expected. Maybe I should make it a little bit smaller, like this. Yeah, so it will be much better fit here. Yeah, so this is better. And let's just drop it down, but before we drop it down, yeah, let's just drop it down here. Let me hide this thing. I will do it like this, so it won't interrupt me. And let me take this lower part here, and I will just drop it here. Cool. So it's starting to get very nice. And let's delete this circle, we don't need it. And let's make this one like this, so more circular here. I will try to match it over here. Because yeah, you can see definitely it's not super circular, maybe it's kind of ovals here or something. I'm not sure. Definitely not sure about that. Maybe it's better to do some sort of a cut here. Like that. And let's try maybe to GZ and move it here a little bit. What do you think? Looks interesting. And maybe RV, put it here and just rotate it a little bit like that. Yeah, to have that oval shape type. And we can bevel it again, or here. Something like this, yeah, more oval here. And let's just delete this, Shift X, and Shift J it on G0. No, Shift J it, but here we should have G1. Like this, yeah. And now let's do Alt X, move it here. Yeah, this is much better shape. I like it more. And let me drop this thing inside here and here. So yeah, I will basically drop the line like this, and I will drop another one from here to here, and I will just take a circle and put it here in the center. Good. Now I will just move it a little bit over here and do F, radial array, and make it like this beautiful pattern. And we will just select it like that. So I will do a red box to select only the things that will be inside of this thing. And I will do Shift D here to have the pattern. I delete all this redundant topology. And let's make it a bit bigger and do Shift I and just cut it here. Okay, and now I can do E for extrusion. I will extrude it, and I will do A to change the angle and kinda make it like this. So it will replicate this type of thing. Beautiful. And I will also need to do, I'm not sure if it's possible, but I will try to do an offset here, just a little one like that. And this thing is definitely a bit inside like this. And now we need to do the same here, but not the same, not the super same. It will have its little vibe. So here's the true center. Let me just drop it in the center like this. Move it much away and do F, radial array. Make it like this. I think, no. We need to do more, like this. F, radial array, center, good, like this. And just select everything like that. Do a Shift D to have the profile. Delete all these things. Let's try to F, rebuild. Yeah. Can we try to do more of this? Yeah, like this. And then take these things and make them much narrower here. Yeah, this is more reminding me about this shape. I think even more. Like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and now I will do Shift I imprint, right click, delete all these things, E, cut it, A, and be careful here. You need it, but not super much. Like that. Whoa. And do we have the same? I think, yeah, we definitely should. Let's try it. So we'll just select this one, do O. Yeah, like that. Not a big problem. Just select all of these things and extrude them inside a bit. Like that. F, redundant topology. Cool. That's pretty cool. And we can drop little bevels here, just to make it not so harsh. Same thing here about the bevels. We can just drop it from the both sides, why not? Like that. Because there is nothing with super hard H shape. Okay, and here as well. And only the circles left and the low part. So let's finish it up. Let's drop one circle somewhere here, I think. Shouldn't be big. Yeah. And it definitely should be a imprint. It was a mistake to delete this thing. So yeah, let's just drop it back again. Somewhere here. Okay, Shift I, just imprint it here. Let's delete it. And let's do extrusion again, because we need this angle, like that. Cool. And I believe here is a nice bevels like that. Perfect. And I will just alt-X it to the side, Q, merge it. 3 generous holes here, and the last thing over there. So let's drop the knife, cut here. It's not super hard. I think it's something like this. Let me put it here, I guess. Yeah, I think it should be a bit upper, like that. Yes, Alt X, drop it here. Join, Shift I, imprint it. Here as well should be the same thing. Kinda like that, but in the center. I need to have a central line here. Let's just drop it like this. Something like that should work. And we will need to do it from both sides, just because we can't mirror there, because we already made these things. Yeah, so it was a bit mistake. It's better to do all these knives and then mirror everything. Or, you know what? No, we can. Hell yeah, we can. We will just kind of kick this one for a while and then do our thing. Yeah, perfect. So yes, here it is. And the last but not the least is this thing here. So I just need it like that, and I'll text it here like that. And let's just see, cut, right click, X. Good. And yeah. Now the most interesting part left. Cuts, cuts, merge cuts. Shift X. Okay. Give me the central one here. Select this, Shift B, G0. Select this, Shift J. Bam. That's what I call a superb, nice model. Here we have it, like this. Yeah, I think it's pretty much the thing that we look for. F, redundant topology, get rid of it. Okay, and let's finish it up with 3 circles. Why does it doesn't want to give me the central line? I don't understand. Maybe I just turned off something. I don't know. Okay, let me like this. And let's do it. No, not here, just like this, I think. Yes. And let's F, rectangular array. And the last one should be somewhere here. And there should be 3 of them. 3. Good. Like this. Yeah, our knife became a bit larger, I think. So I think we can drop 4. Why not? Maybe it will be even more cooler, much cooler. What do you think? 4. Yeah, that's cool. Let's do Shift I, imprint it here. Oh my god. Delete all these lines. You don't need them. Select all this shit. E, extrude it. A, make it like this. Nice. Select all of it. And do a bevel. Good. Redundant topology. Kick it off. Let's make a small bevel here. Because it definitely has it. Like, look at this thing. Just a small one. Not so big. Not so big like this. Yes. And let's just alt text it here. Q, merge it. Very, very, very good. Oh, I forgot the other side here. Okay, let's do the same here. Just a small one here. Yes. Do we have it everywhere? Yeah, that's good. Right click to apply it. I will hide the big one. Don't need it. And yeah, let's do this thing too. Or let it decide where it should have. Yeah, like this. This and this. Let's do it like this. Good. And Alt X from right to left, Q to merge it. Whoa. This is the cool one. Badass. Super badass asset. Yeah, it's all good. I think we need one little thing here. Maybe a little bells. Somewhere over here. Or have a chamfer. The chamfer is much better. I think, yeah. And some sort of the bevel here. And let's have a little bevel on the backside too. Like this. Drop a bevel here. Drop a bevel here. And chamfer over here. Yeah. Wow. Look at this thing. Flawless. Amazing. Creamy. I would say it's creamy. Pretty cool. Like for a real vampire killer. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We can drop it into Blender and render. So I will open the scene. Here is already a light from my setup. I will delete it and do it from scratch. Kind of like here, I open my light setup. I take this light, I do a Ctrl C. I go to the Blender and I do Ctrl V over here. And we got something like that. And we definitely don't want this plane, so I will delete it. And I will clean couple of collections that it brings with the light. And I also take light shading. I will check it so there won't be no specific collections. that I don't like. Okay, so here's the light. Here's how you position it, and you drop it to the collection named light, because you need to have some management in the scene. Otherwise, the scene will be very, very messy. And here I will press backspace and just get rid of that thing, of that lumpy light. So I won't have nothing bad here. Okay, and I also don't need this texture, definitely. So the table, yeah, you will ask me if the scene is empty, why the heck here's a table? Because I downloaded the table from Blender Kit, and you can do the same, just write the table and find some table there that you like. Or maybe you don't want a table, maybe you want a rock or something. Yeah, I will just use the table and I will do some little composition with you, including this knife, without any kind of like textures and stuff like that. We will do it all procedurally and pretty fast. Let's just make it. We'll just drop the light over here. And let's connect our plasticity to the blender. And hit the refresh with only visible. And here's my beautiful knife that I will position here like that. Okay, and I want to take the camera. So if you don't have the camera, Shift A camera and you will get it. I will drop a 3D cursor here and just make it like this and move it over here. So I want to make a nice shot that will kind of be pretty cool looking over here. Nice like close up or something like that with the focus on the knife. And the table here is just a minor detail that is not super important here. It's just for the vibe. Yeah. And let's first position the camera the way we like. I don't know, maybe I want it to be kind of like this. Maybe I want it to be a bit more over here, a bit lower. Yeah, I want it to be a pretty big one, you know? And I will position it like that. So it's kind of half of this thing. Something like this, yeah. So we'll have nice space over here. Here it is. It's already much more interesting. Some sort of that. And let's do a quick adjustments here. So yeah, the focal length is 125. Let me try something else. Like this, maybe. No, I don't like it. Maybe bigger, like 150 to make everything more kinda squeezier here. Yeah, let's leave it on 150. That's pretty cool. And we also can do kind of like this shot, or we can try to make the shot from the top to see the table better. Yeah, so I'll just try to make it like this, just to compare it a little bit between two. Let me see that. Yeah, something like this. And definitely should be closer so we can see that thing. And I definitely want these guys go like that. And I also want this one separated and try to use face and select the center Okay. And we also need to rotate it. And yeah. The bad thing that I can't select, or maybe I can, maybe I just don't know. I can select which axis is top. So yeah, if I just select the origin, you can see that the Z is top, and that way it tells me where is the top of my model. So yeah, if I want it to be kind of exact, so I need to do something like this. Yep. And then, yeah, if I do a align rotation, yep, and now it will work. Yeah, see that? Now it just kind of makes the things the way I like it. And we definitely want it to be a bit higher here. So yeah, just like that, if you position it. So now, yeah, it will be working like that. It will be pretty perfect here. And yeah, so here, one type of shot, and here's another type of shot, which we can use. So which one is better, I'm not pretty sure. But if I use this one, I definitely think that I will use some light that will break through these things. And if I use this one, I will definitely kind of maybe reposition this guy so it will be more over here, more vibier, maybe like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure right now. Let's just try it. Maybe I want to make this one a bit like that. So yeah, it will be seen from two of the scenes. Yeah, something like this, maybe kind of rotate it, because someone just punched it over here. And we definitely will model here some impact zone just pretty quickly. It's not super hard. Yeah, this is already looks much better. And I definitely want to move this one a little bit here. So yeah, if you just take yourself some guides here. Yeah, it's already much better. Yeah, this is good. And maybe we can try a third one, just to compare each of them. So we can have two shots from both worlds, kind of like this. So we will have the nice background, this thing, and we also have composition of these two and some spot without anything over here, something like that. Yeah, could pretty much work very well. Maybe I will just move this guy somewhere over here. Maybe a bit more to the front. And this one, maybe I just want to kind of move it over here a bit, or leave it as it is. Maybe rotate it a bit. You know, a couple things here can be changed definitely. Maybe I just want it to be more closer here, like this. Yeah, just to make it like that. Or it was cool when it was there. I don't know. Yeah, let's leave it like this. I think it's not so bad. It's more than okay. And we definitely don't want fool ourselves with some table thing, because the table is not ideally flat. And we need to keep in mind that some of these things can be kinda, yeah, just like this. Okay, so here we have it. Let's see from all type of angle. Something like this, something like this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me just see that. Yeah, from the top view, it's cool, but I'm not sure that I like this background, you know, like the background of the wood. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm a fan of this one, this cool, and I'm a fan of this thing. It's also very cool, and we have two of them. It's pretty nice. Okay, let's stick to this one and see what we can get out of it. Maybe we can just adjust the camera a little bit more, like this. Yeah, just to have it a bit more here. Maybe a bit more here. I'm not sure that I wanted them in the center. Yeah, let's have them. Let's have them like this. So we kind of, or like this, you know, like the center of this thing a little bit off from here. And yeah, if this one is a bit out of the context, it's not so bad. Maybe we can move it over here or here, just to have a nice intersection. Yeah, what do you think? Is that cool? Or this one is a bit better? I'm not sure. Here it's kind of individual thing. Let's leave it like this. Pretty interesting one. We can even move it more over here, I think. Yeah, why not? Something like that. Yeah, this is also pretty cool vibe here. Can be catched. Make it more on the front. Something like this. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, I like to make them like, you know, when people trying to position these things, kind of like that they want to get something here, but I'm not sure that it's super necessary. You can try different approaches. It's not a big deal here. Yeah. Maybe this one is the cool one here. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's all super individual, and you should create your own beautiful composition. I just feel like I want it to be a bit over here more. Yeah, let's leave it like that. Let's leave it like that. It's pretty cool. Because I want it to be like a thumbnail for the YouTube, and yeah, I will have the text here definitely, so I will just position it a little bit over here. And as always, I can just drop another one over here and make this one also like that, or something. That will be too pretty much cool. Why not? We can just try to play here some interesting things. Maybe it will hang out there a little bit. Why not? But I don't like how they look. Yeah, just to break it a bit, something like this. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's leave it like that. That's already nice. One, I will just position it a little bit differently here. Yeah, nice, nice. Let's have it like this. Maybe it will be okay. Maybe we will change some of them. Maybe we will turn off some of them. But for now, I'm pretty much okay with the overall comp, the lightning and other stuff. So what we need here, we need to turn on the render. I will just take off these things. I don't need them. Okay. And let's turn on the render view over here, and we see how these things became interesting. Yeah, so I'm not sure about this light on the background. Let's just make it a bit more vibier like that. Maybe I want it to be more kind of concentrated like that. Just put it over here, something like this. No, I think this one is cool. Let it be like that. Let's drop the transparent background here. And we can also use the HDRI. Let's try environment texture here. Open. Let's use some HDRI. Or you can take it from Blender Kit, as you wish. Let's take the old hole. I think it will match it pretty cool. And I just want some kind of 0.1 strength here. Maybe even 0. Like that. Yeah, just to have it settle. Just to have a settle effect here. And yeah, I can drop a transparent, or I can go to the world and change the background and the color of this thing to something else, like this. And just take the factor and his camera array, yeah, like that. Like light pass and is camera array. So we will have our HDRI and this thing separately. So you can say I can change the color of it, and I can change the strength of HDRI map. It will be okay. So I will drop it to something like that, I think, just for the sake of having something. But in general, I would stick to transparent background. Yeah, but for now, let's leave it like that. And let's drop a volume here, because I feel like we need it. So I will tell collection a wall. I will create the mesh, I will create the cube. I will make it big enough to fit all the scene here. And I will call it wall as well. Go to the object, new material, delete this one, Shift A, search, and principled volume. And I also want volume absorption. So yeah, I will drop the principled volume here in the volume. Yeah. And like scene is just popping to the next level. The volume absorption is the thing which creates this background black thing. Kind of like black fog from the background, and we can play with it. So we can just make barely visible things in the background and much more visible things in the foreground. Yeah, I like to combine these two, and kind of have this interesting effect here. So we can just have something in between of them. But let's stick to the volume. And let's make this bastard wire, so it won't mess us nothing. And I will just turn it off from, oh no, I don't want to turn it off. Okay, so here is it. Here's the interesting part we are in. We need to drop some materials here on these bastards because they don't have one. So I will use the material, I will create a new one. I will create the metallic BSDF. Good. And I will pop it to the surface. Cool. delete this, and let's just copy to selected. So yeah, we will have a nice material here. For now, I will just tickle off the volume so I can see these things better. And I will need a couple of lights nearby these guys just to have sense of the light. I will just make them something like that. Yep. And I will rotate them around the 3D cursor, so I will have this full panorama light thing. How can I make it better? Just find the perfect spot for your light, so it will kind of make your scene a bit more interesting. Now let's drop it like this, and let's have one for this guy. So I will just take this, and create the light link and drop this one over here. So it will just hit the knife, and I will try to drop some kind of a rim light here, some sort of that, if I really want to. Yeah, something like this, just to make it more interesting. More of these things to kind of like create the nice effects here. Yeah, I just can tell you, just try to play with the light. Try to play with the light. The light is one of the most important things here, and you need to learn how to play with it to bring your renders to the next level, even without any like textures, materials, and all this type of shit. It already can look cool. You saw that like a couple seconds ago when there was just a volume, just regular thing, and a couple of lamps, couple of good lamps. Let me just close this one because it's bothering me a little bit over here. Yeah, so okay, let's move on. And yeah, maybe I want to make it a little bit higher here, yeah, you know, or not so high. Want it to be higher, and I want it to be less intense, maybe half of intensity, maybe like that will be much better. And let me take the 3D cursor, and I will just try to rotate it around the world and see what it can give me. What a nice result it can give me. Oh, look at that. So it just gives this subtle gradient, and it looks pretty cool. And I'm not sure that I want it, but we definitely can try to play with it. Kind of like make this thing a bit more on the foreground. Yeah, and let's make it even less bright, maybe more, maybe not so much, like 0.1. Yeah, that will be good, I think. Kind of like this. All right, let's leave it like this for now. And let's try to adjust the material. So like the basic lights are set it up. I'm pretty okay with them. And I want to play with some metallic BSDF. So I want to drop the roughness very good here. And I want to drop some anisotropy here and maybe play with rotation. So I will have myself a nice, interesting patterns here. Yeah, and I will also want to have a tangent here. and see what it gave us. So definitely not Y, definitely not X, but Z is pretty much good. So if we would have some kind of textures here, UV maps and stuff, this thing can help you out very much because you can just drop a UV map and play with it. If you don't have them and still want to have the render, if you have some issues with kind of lighting or these things, you can abuse rotation, or you can try to reduce anisotropy here, and you will have yourself a nice pretty mesh. So yeah, I don't really want to have a lot of it. I think just a subtle effect, and I can try to make it like this. Why not? And let's try to adjust this light, which is pretty much made to make the background of this thing stand out a bit, like that. Let's try to maybe oh, so I basically don't have nothing in the scene that has got it. Okay, so I have this one bastard that is kind of working, and these guys are turning off. I think it's some kind of a new bug from the Blender, because these ones should be definitely be the part of the whole scene. Okay, so if we have this type of problem here that I never had, I will just select everything and I will just create a new light linking here and drop everything inside of this collection. So I will have these lights working everywhere, and I will call it like all light. Yep. And I will select this one and drop all light here too, and this one and drop all light here too. So nice. This one is just shining on the thing, and all these guys are shining around. Cool. Let me just try to move them around like that. Maybe a little bit like this. What do you think about that? Yeah, maybe I want less impact from the right. Kind of like this. So I can see this thing, but I don't see anything on the back. Super kinda. Yeah, I like this. I like how it stands out from the whole scene. Okay, so next thing, let's turn back our beautiful, maybe I want it to be more rough, or no. Yeah, let's drop it to be more anisotropy and a bit more roughness. Yeah, like that. Yeah, something like this. Let's try to rotate it a bit. Maybe we will find something here. Something unique. Yeah, something like this. Good. Okay, and now let's try to bring the volume back, and let's see what it gives us. What effects. Like this, maybe like this. Yeah, and I don't want it to be super dense here. Let's just make it less dense. Oh my god, in the volume, I always kinda... Okay, and let's make it not super dense. Maybe like this. Let's try to change the color of it. Let it be more kind of like this. And we can play with anisotropy too. Let's just see what it gives us. A nice effects from the right. a nice effect from the back. Depends on what we like here. Let's just make it like this. We can also drop in the density some kind of a color ramp. Let's try to do that. Like this, and I will drop a color ramp. And I will also drop a noise. I want Berlin noise here. Let's just check what it can give us. And I will try to move this thing. Yeah, it will just give a nice kind of foggy pattern here. Just scale it a bit more like this. Yeah, nice. That's cool. Already have some dustier, much more interesting look. I hope you can see this subtle bullshit that I do. Let's try to make it like this. Yeah, this is interesting. And let's also drop some, I don't know, let's try to mix them together and see what it gives us. Type of the effect, yeah. Let's just try to eat this background with this darkness here. Kind of more or less, not sure here. Maybe we can use this as the factor. That will give us some interesting result now. Can I dip it just a bit more? Without it and with it. I don't know. I kind of like how it looks without. Maybe I can use some custom color here or something. But this look is also pretty cool. Maybe we could have some just subtle effect of it. Just subtle one. Like this one is too much. This one is good. And we have this background blurred nicely. Blended like that. And now let's try to drop some effects on camera. So I will use depth of field. Just check it on. And let's turn the limits on and try to adjust this thing to the front one. Yeah, kind of like this. This already becomes much more interesting. Like in a second. Just without depth of field and with depth of field. God damn. And we have this continuity there. So very nice look and kind of like blurrier and much blurrier. So if we don't want so much blur, we will just rise this thing up. Yep, or if we want it to be much blurrier, we will kind of dial it down. But I kind of feel that this one is kind of perfect. Maybe a bit less, like 2.8 will be good. Maybe 2.6 here. Not sure. 6, 5, 7. Yeah, let's leave it on that. Good. This is very nice picture or already, and let me just try to maybe play with this table. So it doesn't have this place. If you have kind of close look and you want this place, you can just duplicate the roughness map, plug it into this place, drop some color ramp, and turn on the displays here, because just bump only. You can place displays only or altogether. And yep, but here I'm not sure that I want it because, yeah, it's blurry. And just drop a subdivision here on 2. Let me just see how it will look. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, for the viewport, yeah, we can use the adaptive, or we don't want to use it. I think it's if we use a kind of close up and depth of field, we want to use it. If we use some displacement, we want to use it. If we use some blurry and stuff, it's not super necessary. So yeah, it depends on your choice. I'll just leave this one on 1, or even turn it off here, and on the render it will be good. So for now I will try to cut this hole there because it's pretty necessary. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to I and just make a little gap here just for that beautiful crackle. Yeah, and if I turn on this thing, it won't be seen as much. And now I can go to the knife, kind of use the crack over here like that, and kind of like that. Why not? And let's try to make it like this. So we will have kind of nice impact here, and right click it to apply. Let's just move this thing like that, I think. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty nice look we got here. Just subdivide this one, make it less big over here. Kind of like this. Yeah. And I think we can finish it over here, definitely, and don't bother ourselves with that thing, because it can't give like such a big impact here, you know? It just can't. Okay, so now we have a, maybe we will also drop a subdivision here, just to have ourselves, yeah, something like this. Make it like this, and maybe move it over here. And yeah, but basically I want to drop a little loop around this thing, just to protect myself. So I will and create this little loop over here, so it won't mess all the things. And then I will drop E and make it like that. And now I have it good. Like this. Perfect. Yeah, and we can definitely take this type of loop and drop it inside, but you can see how this can change this side of dramatically. Yeah, so if you don't have loop, you can have this normal issues here. Sometimes they are pretty nasty. Yeah, so in the low part here, I will drop one more like that. Why not? Yeah, we have ourselves a nice crackle. If we have some problems with normals, I will just drop a weighted normal. Yeah, and it will just make everything beautiful again. If it wasn't, and kind of stick to it. So if you just don't have this, it's a hard ops. Just drop modifier, search, place weighted normal. It will drop you it like that, and just you can play with the things. It's just the same. It's nothing special here. So what's next? Yeah, it's barely seen this thing, but you know it just it just gives you some interesting pattern here. You can try to drop this one up right now, because yeah, it definitely allows you to do that with the weighted normals. Yeah, we can have it like this. And because it's n-gon, it's better to drop some kind of loops and stuff like that around, just to make it a bit better. Yeah, so I can see this crack much aggressively. Yeah, now it's much better. I will take these two and try to make them a bit lower here. Yeah, just to have this kind of impact, kind of story. Yeah, this one is cool. Let's take this thing and kind of maybe try to make it like that or like that. I'm not sure. Okay, so if I drop a subdivision, it can mess things up pretty dramatically. So how can we deal with this thing? We can drop some loops, some cuts here just to connect everything together, or we can drop a creases to protect this area. Let's try just to make this sort of things. So I will basically take this thing here, select the loop here, and I will drop a crease over here in the items, increase edge data, boom, like this. And let's see the result here. Yeah, the results are much better. And maybe we will need to drop one more over here too. Let's just try it. So yeah, it became better a bit. Yeah, and you definitely can spend some time and make all these things work kind of better and like create some quads here and blah 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 blah, but for some sort of renders you just don't need that, and it will look good even like that. Even with some sort of these problems, it won't affect the beauty of this render, definitely, because it's blurred, and you need to understand that it doesn't need to be perfect here. It should be perfect here. Okay. Yeah, so you can definitely spend time, but you know, this type of the bullshit that nobody cares about in this type of renders. So yeah, here is pretty much beautiful result. And you know what lacking here? Some inconsistency in this texture. So I definitely want to bring it a bit up. So I will just Ctrl-Shift-D it and mix it with the mix shader. And now, yeah, I can try to play with the colors. Let's just try to play with the colors first over here. I don't want it to be like this. Maybe I want it to be more shinier like that. And maybe kind of like more bluish here. So it will give us interesting result, or kind of yellow or something like this. Yeah, you can definitely play here with some type of colors. I will leave it over here like that. Make this one a bit more, maybe kind of red impact here. Why not? Looks pretty cool. Vampiric vibe. That's pretty nice. Okay, let's leave it like that. And let's drop the mix with this color. Yeah, we can change it a bit later. Let's drop it here. And in the factor, I will cook the color ramp and cook it together with my beloved Perlin noise. Yep, and I will just drop it here, and I will press Ctrl Shift and left click it over here on that node and just see how it looks. So Ctrl T here, Ctrl X here, and just connect it here. And I don't need the UV because we don't have them here. I will just drop a generated or object. So which one works better for you? That is yours. I think here is the object. Object is the better because yeah, you can see how generated kind of grabs all these things. So yeah, let's just use the object. It's pretty cool. And let's play with the scale. And if you have watched a couple of the videos, I recommend you to watch like some videos that I will tag here on the top or somewhere over there. They will appear. Yeah, and in the description, definitely in the description. So about the shading, about this type of interesting shader solution on the go. Yeah, so I will just drop it like this. And I will just, I think I don't need too much of the detail here. Maybe I will make them a bit smaller here. And the linearity, I can also reduce it to some number like that. And let's just try to make this thing over here. Yeah, just to have this gooish pattern, some sort of slimy thing. It looks pretty cool. Now I will go to shader and yeah, like immediately you can see some interesting things going on here. And I will just change the rotation a bit. And now you can see how this impact is working here beautifully. So we can play with an isotrope, we can dial it down, we can put it up, we can make it less rough. So it will give us some of this. Yeah, maybe we'll just try to make it much rough. Just kind of drop it inside together. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, you can see that. You can see how this image became more unique, more interesting. Just try to play with that. And when you kind of like okay with that result, yeah, you like this subtle look, maybe a bit more like this. Yeah, try to change the colors, try to see what it gives you. Maybe it will look more interesting here. Or you want some clean look like that. Let's leave it like that. And try to take this color ramp. Let me move it over here so you can see it definitely. Yeah, and we will just make bigger for you. And we will take this and just kind of blend it in together with the white color. And you can see how these things are mixing up together beautifully. So if you want that, you can do that definitely, or make it from that side. Kind of to mix these things together like that, maybe, yeah. Just choose one that you like most and kind of like drop it like that. Yeah, that is pretty cool. You can definitely see how it's making the picture more interesting. Just want it to be a bit more. More anisotropy here, maybe some rotation. Yeah, that's cool. That's already cool. And let me just Alt-H it because we lost one dude here. Yeah, and you see how it's like kind of redness over here. So if you don't want this redness, just click over here on this thing here and make it unique material. And you can change this one to something like that. Or make it less red and stuff. Yeah, kind of like this. Kind of like this. Yeah. Just to have this vibe, but don't overcomplicate the look. And yeah, if you want some more of kind of like red impact, maybe you want some blue here or something like that, you can definitely just kind of go here, make it unique one. Let's try it. And just take, I'm not sure, just take all of these things here and just Shift D it. So we will have everything separate here. Yeah. Like this. And mix it together with the same metal. Yep. Like that. Let's take it. Boom. Drop it here. Mix it like that. And put this one in the factor again. And just change the intensity. Make it less a lot, not so much. And yeah, this one is more kind of like blood dots or something like that. And you can try to make that one completely red, something like that. And yeah, you can see that. Pretty cool effect. Pretty cool. Pretty like goddamn cool effect. Make the tint of it a bit darker, I think. Will be much more interesting here. And you can, yeah, you can make it very rough like that, or you can make it less rough. Yeah, but I like it how it was like this. Yeah, so here's your interesting thing here. And definitely you can select kind of like these planes if you really wish to, because they are just a planes, just a regular planes here. And we can try to kind of select this, select kind of like this. We just switch to this one. If it doesn't select these things separately, just try to play with these things. Yep. And yeah, we can drop some other material here. Maybe the same as I want it to be here. If you expect some kind, oh, so we are looking on it from the backside. Okay, we can kind of rotate it. Why not? Or leave it as it is, you know. Oh, it's just because I noticed that I want to kind of bring these things up a little bit. So that's not a big deal. Okay, so for example, you want all of these things to be a slightly more brushed metal, yeah, than this part. So yeah, you can make that. You can just go to material tab. You can drop another new material. Let's drop a, let's name this one a metal 1. Let's drop the metal 1 here too, like that. And let's drop the metal 1 to the metal 2 by clicking this beautiful button, but we need to get out of this. Yep, and just name it metal 2 brushed. Yep, and go here and assign it here. Yeah, the same thing here. And just make it more shiny. So basically, yeah, if I just take the Shift D here and can just plug this thing in, so you can see how this one can be more shiny, kind of like this. Yeah, less roughness here, and it will just outstand dramatically like that. So you can, yeah, you can play with this thing definitely if you wish. And yeah, let me just take this one and let's just Shift D it and hide it from the render and thing, so we will have two versions. One like turned the right way and the second is not. So yeah, how I can turn it but not lose all this beautiful composition. Okay, we'll just Control GZ and make it like that and 180. Here we go. Something like this. Let me just see how it look. So I will just hide this one and turn on this one. And I will definitely need to re-include it in the collection because for some reason it didn't include. I don't know, it's some kind of a bug, I think, because it was working beautifully. We can just take and drop it over here. And the same for every other light. We just need to redrop it, as I assume. So I will take it and drop it here. Good. So now we have our picture back, and let's just see how we can. So one side and back side. Here you go. Absolutely the same picture, absolutely the same rotation of them. But I like the front side more because it's kind of like have this little outstanding details that just make it pop a little bit more. And I definitely want, so we will exclude it from the render, like the back side of it. And we will take the front one, and maybe I will drop it like that, you know, and I will try to kind of play with this. If it tells you it's 2 because it's 2 because here. And let me just drop the roughness a bit of it like that, like on this one. I will just copy it, like Control C and Control V it here. Like anisotropy, maybe, yeah, I can play with it over here. Some of the rotation here. Yeah. You can put more noise here. Maybe you can put some bumpy. Make it more kind of red here because it's definitely have more blood on these things. But don't overcomplicate it, so it won't look fake. Here's the beautiful, beautiful render. Remember where we started and remember where we kind of like finished here. So it's pretty goddamn good. And the little thing I just want to add here is this dust seam that I have. So it will basically bring your render just a little bit higher in the result. So yeah, you just basically need a particle which you want to drop everywhere and just a simple particle system with some sort of these things here. And I don't want to be like kind of nerdy over here. I will just show you how this thing can work. So we just basical emitter with a lot of these things, and they can be animated. You can see that. So it's kind of work like this. Yeah. But if you just want one frame, you can just take Control C it and drop it in any scene. I can share this one with you on the Gumroad. So yeah, I will call it dust, and I will drop it over here. And let's see what we can have here. Yeah, let's try to make it a little bit smaller, like this. Yeah, and it will just give you some interesting, unique look here. So yeah, let's just try it like this. And let's just make all of these guys a bit smaller because they are too big right now. We'll definitely need to apply scale here. And take the particle. You can scale the particle, or you can basically scale the simulation here. So you will take it and try to make it more and make the scale of it in the render kind of smaller. I think I will drop a 0 over here, and they will become like a real dust, the size of a dust. I think 0.1 will be pretty good, and I will drop them like 12,000, something like this. Yep. And just try to find a nice frame, or play with the seed, or maybe play with the scale. Maybe it's too small. Yeah, so you can kind of barely see them like this. Yeah, that's good. I think it's too much. So yeah, kind of like this, and just try to move them a bit, just to find a nice spot where you can use them for a render. Maybe just drop much of them, just to have this nice subtle effect of something is flowing around. Maybe I will make them much more denser here, like this, you know. And we can kind of try to dial them a bit to 12,000. Yeah, maybe like 8. Just to reduce them and make them a bit smaller, like this. Yeah, this is already becoming much better. Maybe 0.05. Just for the subtle look here. Just something like this. Yeah. Oh, this is good. Something like that. Yeah. Beautiful. And yeah, here you basically have it. Here's your interesting, beautiful scene, which you can play definitely and have a nice results. Yeah, like this one. Look at this. Super cool. Nice, interesting look. Maybe I will drop some adjustments to the camera over here. Oh, and I will basically use some of these things. And I just want to drop blades to kind of like six over here. So it has kind of 6 of these things. You can see if I drop it to the 0, they will be perfectly round. And if I drop it to some kind of a specific number, they will be like triangles over here, and you can try to play with that thing. It will be pretty cool. I will drop them to the 6. This one can rotate them a little bit, and ratio is basically make them kind of like squeezed in one and the other direction, so you can see that kind of effect. If you like it, you can use it. Pretty cool one too. Yeah, but I don't really want to play with this thing. Just want to leave it on the default here. And yep, here you go. Here's your beautiful render, and I hope you have something much more beautiful than me. And I forgot to like turn the lights on, so I was dark like a shit all the way. But here it is. That's your beautiful render and your beautiful mesh, and no textures, just bare materials over here. So yeah, and a couple words about the render settings. Of course, kind of like you want to put the this like this. You want to disable noise threshold. You don't need it on the render, definitely. Denoise, if it's static, tickle it out if it's not. This one you need if it's animation. This one you can drop it like that. Everything the same, 32, 32, 10. And basically it is. Everything else is just the default. Here is like drop it to 2 and more if you want much smoother edges, if you use transparent background. If you don't and want a crisp result, use this or even less. And everything else is pretty much okay. So here is just AGX, medium high contrast, and that's it. That's basically it. And you will have this into this. Super amazing. If you want more similar things like that, just check the description section and I will drop there some more videos where I model something in Plasticity, drop it to Blender, make and render. Like there will be some special of them. And I think you can check the playlist about Blender render. I'll just name it like Blender render and you can kind of check it. There will be like full easy workflow from Plasticity to Blender for a quick render, like without headaches. And later on we will start making the Substance Painter, retopology, and all this hard shit that will bring the picture even on a much more interesting result. So yeah, just stay tuned. And as always, model cool things every day. Watch a couple of my videos if you like that one. Try to watch some of this that I recommend here. And stay healthy. I will see you in the next one. Bye.